Hello, what up my people, welcome back to my channel once again. So today we're going to be going through my trade recap for last week. Sorry I couldn't drop my trade recap earlier this week because of some engagements, and which I'll be dropping the trade recap for the date of from 30th, that's Monday, from 30th last week to 4th July, and from 30th June 2025 to 4th July 2025. So irrespective, we're going to be starting from the first day of the week. So sorry, the market actually opened here. This is the new opening gap, and irrespective, we saw a nice fall on the Asian session, which we had our reaction zone. That's our psychological zone here. As you can see here, I have actually marked our resistance zone under our psychological zone, which I was expecting the market to actually tap here, but irrespective, this wasn't a time for me to trade. This is 11:25. This was when the market actually tapped into this particular zone. That's a 1 hour resistance. So irrespective, I didn't take that trade. I allowed the market to build up along the line, which irrespective, on the 30 minutes time frame, we have a 30-minute resistance. So let's go to the 30 minutes time frame so that we can analyze this first trade first. Yes, this is the 30 minutes time frame. Why I actually took this trade on the 30 minutes time frame was because of this particular resistance here. This is the resistance here, and also we can call this an order block also, because it also has, why I will call this an order block is that what I will do here is to make sure I mark the body candle. Can you see the body candle is what I will mark? But irrespective, I knew this is a resistance, so I kept my resistance line here, and I was expecting a pullback along this line. So irrespective why I call this a resistance, if you go back to the line charts, let's go to the line chart. This is how I need you to understand the V shape. As you can see here on the line chart, we have a V shape, then we have an A shape here, which I actually marked the top of the A shape, and irrespective, the market respected this particular A shape. Why did it respect the A shape? Because we have liquidity around it. The market did not tap into that body candle. So what I was expecting was the market to come into this candle. Now, when did we actually enter this trade? Let's go back to the 5 minutes time frame. If I analyze on the higher time frame, I come back to the lower time frame to come and confirm my entry. So irrespective, I went back to the 5 minutes time frame to see our timing of entering the market. So irrespective, the first market came, tapped into the 30 minutes time frame. I didn't enter the market immediately. I was waiting for a sweep at the top of this particular one. So irrespective, the market tapped in around 7:45, and I waited for London open. That's 8 o'clock, and around 8:10 a.m. I entered the market, and the market came. I used my psychological level to actually take profit in this particular zone, and irrespective, boom, we actually got a 4:1 RR. Now let's go through the rules. I like going through my rules. Break of structure. Yes, let's take this as our break of structure. The market broke this particular structure, and irrespective, this was a resistance that was created around the break of structure. That's rule number 1. Do we have liquidity? Yes, we have liquidity. Rule number 2. Do we have a valid order block? Yes, on the 30 minutes time frame, it's an order block and also a resistance. We have our third rules, and our fourth rule is our entry. And irrespective, the market gave us a 4:1 RR. So on the other hand, while I was going through this, I saw a build up of an equal low. Irrespective, when this market came, this is an inducement. The market came, induced people into the market, early buyers, and the market came back to take them out and created an equal low for us. After creating that equal low, we have a valid order block here that the market did not tap into it, and irrespective, we actually caught another 5 minutes resistance here. Now, our rule for this particular resistance is that we have immediate buy and an immediate sell, engulfing candle. Everybody knows I actually mark engulfing candles together with my order block. So my engulfing candle is my first confluence. My second confluence is actually a an OCL that has not been a fresh OCL, and irrespective, I marked the V shape, and that's the V shape is actually the double engulfing. So let's go through the rules for the double end. Then let's go through the line chart so that we can see that V shape. Can you see? This is an A shape, and irrespective, we marked this A shape, and the market came for us, and the market tapped us in, and it actually went straight to TP. So irrespective, we got a little to no drawdown on this particular trade, and we rallied this trade to a 6:1 RR. Can you see? I entered this market on New York Open. Can you see? 12:20 New York Open. That's New York session. The market came, tap us in on New York session, and we cut out at about 8:10 p.m. We took a lot of partials on this particular trade, but at the end of the day, the trade went into take profit straight. Now, this is one thing I always talk about: psychological zone. You see, the moment you have your reaction zones, those reaction zones will give you confluence for entry and confluence for take profit. So if you're trading gold, I advise you go and look at more about trading zones. So irrespective, while I cut out of this trade, that was the two trade that we took on Monday, and for Tuesday we had a huge rally up. For Tuesday we didn't have any confluence for any trade, and for Tuesday we didn't take any trade. So irrespective, down Wednesday we didn't take trade, down to Thursday. Thursday was an NFP, and if we all know, I don't trade NFP. I only allow the NFP to finish rallying up before I start looking for opportunities. So on this particular trade, we actually drew a fib level for this particular trade to know where we can actually enter from that particular trade. So for this particular fib level trade, after the NFP, what I was looking for was actually a pullback. So after the run of the NFP, I waited for a pullback from this particular zone. I noted it was now creating higher and higher lows. So irrespective, I drew my fib level from this particular high here. Sorry, let me bring my track mouse. From this particular high here to this particular low, and it gave me a fib level lying on my psychological zone. So irrespective, my psychological zone also we caught an order block on this particular psychological zone, and what I waited for on the 1 minute time frame was a tap into this particular psychological zone and also an order block lying there, and boom, irrespective, we caught a 3:1 RR. Bring the stop loss, we caught a 3:1 RR, and that was how we actually caught this trade on Thursday. And Friday we actually rallied back to see Friday. So after we caught this particular trade on Thursday, on Friday we didn't have any opportunity because we didn't actually sit to actually trade on Friday. I knew that Friday was going to be a little bit choppy, but irrespective, Friday distributed so much that I wasn't on seat to actually catch those trades. So irrespective, that is what we had for this particular week, and thanks for watching my trade recap, and I'm gonna see you on the next one. Peace out.